Hello happy souls, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. Welcome friends, welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am in such a great mood lately. I'm really feeling the good vibes. Spring has sprung here in England and it's just beautiful. The sun's shining today, as you can see, and the daffodils are in bloom. Everything just feels so fresh. I love spring. I was born on the first day of spring, so I'm eagerly anticipating its real arrival, but I can feel it coming to life. I'm so excited. I hope you are as well. Okay, let's move on with our reading. I've got 3 piles for you today, and these are one of my favorite readings too, because I think these are the most impactful in terms of getting the answers we don't even know we need. You know, when we ask the universe, what do we need to know the most, we create space, you know, to actually get the answers we didn't even know we were looking for. So that's what this reading is about today. Whatever messages Spirit and the universe feels you need the most. So take a nice long deep breath. Just set an intention to, you know, be open and ready to receive these messages. You can ask for a sign if you'd like to. That can really help. A sign helps us just validate the messages that we're receiving. It helps reassure us that it was for us and that we can, you know, to take it on board and work with it. So 3 piles for you to choose from. In pile number 1, we have the Lioness Oracle Tarot and this piece of malachite. In pile number 2, we've got the Affirmators Tarot and yellow calcite. And in pile number 3, we have the Good Tarot and this beautiful piece of amethyst. This was a gift from one of my students, Jess. I always think of her very happy soul when I use this. Thank you, Jess. So take your time choosing a pile. There's no right or wrong way. You may be drawn to more than one, and that's great. It just means there's messages in more than one pile for you. Remember that these are general readings. They're not going to resonate 100% for everybody that watches, but that doesn't mean there aren't some messages that are valuable to you in there. If you're not resonating, just choose a different pile. And how you choose is up to you. Just see which one you're drawn to, which crystal you like. I like to choose from the timestamps. I like to look at the number syncs, but there's no right or wrong way. Just trust your own intuition. You can pause the video and douse over them, whatever works for you. So timestamps are in the description box below. They're also pinned at the top in the comments, and I will see you at your pile. Hello pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Malachite and the Lioness Oracle Tarot. I don't read with reversals in this deck because, as you can see, they don't have reversible backs. So I will usually turn them the right way up if they appear reversed, unless I feel guided otherwise, because I do work with reversals. So take a nice long deep breath. In this reading, we're asking, what do you need to know the most? You know, these are the messages from Spirit that perhaps you didn't even realize you needed. The messages that are going to help you find that sweet spot that helps you, guide you towards productive change, and, you know, helps you find the best way forward in any given situation. We're going to use a ton of oracle cards. We're going to pull out charms as well, and there will be an extended reading today. Don't forget to make a note in the comments of which pile you've chosen. YouTube has this beautiful habit of recommending videos to us when we need them the most, and all of my readings are timeless. Trust that you found it at exactly the right time for you. But if you've made a note in the comments of which pile you've watched today, if you do get drawn back to this video at a later date, you'll know which pile you've seen already. And also, I love to see your feedback, so don't forget to tell me if this resonated or not. I really appreciate it. I love hearing from you guys. It really does bring me so much joy to know that you get value and you know, help from my readings. Okay, so I'm giving these a really good shuffle. Okay, we're going to keep those because they've flown out. We've got the Death card, the 10 of Swords, the 4 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. Oh, pile 1, you need a hug. We've got the Queen of Wands and the Devil, the Star, and the 5 of Pentacles. All right, let's get some oracle cards as well. We've got Otter Spirit and Swan Spirit. We will get more oracles, but I'm going to get a few more now. Gratitude, Detachment. And from the Divine Feminine Oracle. If you're interested in what decks I'm using, you can always find them listed in the description box below. We've got Freya, Goddess of Discernment. Lakshmi, the Goddess of Abundance. And Mirabai, the Saint of True Freedom. Okay, pile one. Honestly, pile one, I feel very emotional looking at your cards. There's a huge wave of sadness rising up in me, and I just want to reassure you first and foremost that everything's going to be okay. I feel like you're going through some very painful healing, a very painful transformation, and Spirit's asking me to remind you that growth is very uncomfortable, that when things actually seem at their worst, you know, when we hit rock bottom, even though it's so painful to be there and, you know, we just want it to end, it is a sign that you are, you know, moving forward. This pain is symptomatic of the deep transformation that's happening within you. It's just a release. And even though it is hard to sail through that, it's going to be okay. You can trust. There is such deep pain here right now. We've got the Ten of Swords, and there's been a very painful ending in your life that you're still coming to terms with. What I love about this is how you're working through it. Spirit needs you to know that you're not doing anything wrong. You know, it feels like sometimes because the pain is so intense that, you know, you're just kind of flailing about, not knowing what to do. But actually you're intuitively taking the right steps. And Spirit is just asking you to remember that just because it hurts doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It's actually the opposite. You know, you're working so hard towards your own evolution right now. It's just dislodging so much shadow, so much pain. And this ending that you're going through, I don't know what it is. I feel for some of you it's the ending of a relationship. The universe is reminding you that, you know, when things end, it can feel really painful, but things are being moved out the way to make space for what is meant for you. And right now, what is meant for you is independence. It's stepping into your power. You know, there needs to be a period of withdrawal and detachment. Look at this, you're releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. It's very hard to work through the energy of detachment because there's so many feelings of loss and sacrifice associated with it. You're being asked to step into gratitude, to appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents to you, to recognize this isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. And my friends in pile one, you know, this is such a difficult period for you to navigate, and Spirit just needs you to recognize how strong you are, to recognize that you can release these unhealthy patterns, that you're already, you know, half the battle is already won because you've had the courage to face yourself and to face this pain. It's taken you a long time to arrive at that strength. You know, I feel like you've been in and out of therapy or, you know, self-help kind of projects throughout your lifetime. You know, you've always sought to grow, to recognize who you are, but there were a lot of very deeply buried wounds and a lot of changes that need to happen in order that you could face those. And so this is what's happening right now. We have a tremendous number of major arcana cards here: Death, the Devil, and the Star. And, you know, these energies, even though they're very difficult to work with, the Star, you know, clarified here by this Four of Cups, remind us that this period of solitude is actually what creates space for you to start imagining a new way forward. But in order to do that, you have to let go of how you thought things should be. And this is the pain you're experiencing right now because you were so attached to a specific outcome or to your life being a certain way, that the sacrifice, the pain of letting that go and accepting something new and potentially unknown is so very difficult. There's an obsession or addiction here. You know, the Ten of Swords clarified by the Devil is a very painful energy. The Ten of Swords is associated with betrayal, and being stabbed in the back, and it's very closely linked with this death card here. You know, that skull is represented in both of them. But in this death card, you know, we see these white roses that are a symbol of purity. And so again, you know, this is a process of purification that you're going through. And, you know, as I said, it is uncomfortable. It was never going to be easy, but we have to march through it. And you've got to trust that there is, you know, light on the other side of this experience. I feel like you do get very, very down with it, and there's a feeling of very painful loneliness that just keeps rattling at your bones. You just can't quite shake it. The longing to just be held, to be supported, to be loved, to be rescued is strong, and yet intellectually you know that you have to save yourself. But of course that doesn't make it easier to accept and do that, you know. I talked about this in one of my readings yesterday. There is a gap between knowing and doing. Intellectually, we know a lot of things. Sorry, between knowing and being, you know, knowing doesn't create being. And the analogy I used yesterday was that, you know I should take better care of my health. I know that it's good for me to eat healthy foods and to exercise, but I have to do those things to become, you know, what I intellectually know. And so I do understand that you knowing that you've got to save yourself doesn't make it easier. And that pain that you feel, you know, and that desperate longing to just have someone make it all okay is such an unbearable grief to contend with. I need you to know you're not alone in that. So many of us have experienced this, and so many of us have risen above it, and you can too. There is beautiful hope here. You know, even though right now you feel so alone, it's purposeful that you're alone. You're meant to be alone. This is giving you the time and space to actually transform. And, you know, the star comes after the tower. The tower, remember, is that card where everything comes crashing down. It's over. It was unexpected. Remember, it's a thunderbolt that brings the tower down. And so after the tower card comes the star, because there's nothing left. You know, when the tower comes crumbling down and we're at ground zero, we start afresh. And this is what's happening in your life. And the star is coming up to remind you that the worst of this has already passed. The star is about wishing now. It's about saying, okay, this is gone and I need to grieve the loss of this ending and what's gone. But now I can start to look forward, to imagine a beautiful new beginning, and to trust that things can be okay. When we wipe the slate clean, you know, we have an opportunity to start over. And this is the energy you're being presented with. But as I said, you know, it's not easy. When we embrace something new, we sacrifice the old. And this is what's causing you so much pain right now. There's a lot of fire energy coming through for me in this reading. So we've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. And I'm picking up a lot of pride issues here as well. You know, you have been such a driven person. You've been very diligent and very inspired in the way you've approached life. And so it's a bitter blow for you to find yourself in the situation you're in. And this is why you have this tendency to beat yourself up or assume that you've made mistakes or taken wrong turns. And so Spirit just wants to reassure you that's not the case. You know, you may not feel in your power right now, but I'm hearing your power is potent. You know, you are really stepping into your divine femininity. You're just in that process of becoming. And so, you know, you haven't yet integrated that truth. There is a very defensive energy here, and it's connected to rejection. And again, this is why I feel like it's a relationship has ended, because, you know, the Five of Pentacles is about rejection and abandonment. But I'm looking at this magic carpet that's illustrated here with this yellow rose, yellow being a symbol of the solar plexus, our primary trigger center. So I feel like this ending has triggered a very deep and painful abandonment wound. And so your defenses have flown up, your barriers have flown up, you've detached from people, you know, you've detached from faith and from positivity in many ways. And, you know, no wonder you feel like you're drowning in this. This is a strong energy of self-preservation. You know, I'm hearing I can't take any more right now. And Spirit's saying that's fine. You don't have to take any more. You know, this is going to pass. You're going to feel strong and empowered again. You're going to get back on your feet. This won't resonate for all of you, but there is a message here for those of you that are carrying guilt or shame towards the children in your family. I don't know what that's related to. It feels like maybe you've had to make decisions that, you know, ultimately for your own sanity, but that have impacted children around you. I'm guided to say that happy parents have happy children. You need to release that guilt. You know, you've always done your best with the information and the knowledge you've had. And, you know, you made the decisions you did because that was what was right for you. And I know it's hard to live by that when you see the impact it has on others. But again, Spirit's reassuring you it's going to be okay because you're free. You let go of something that needed to be released. You knew that had to happen. And you've got to keep reverting back to that truth when that guilt overwhelms you. There's no need for you to feel guilt or shame. It is going to be okay. No one's going to blame you, okay? And you definitely don't need to blame yourself. Otter energy reminds you you're never alone. And I know that not everyone that's there around you to support you understands entirely what you're going through. But there's a whole spiritual community and soul tribe out here that does, and we are here for you. You know, if you're not a member of my Facebook group yet, please come and join us there. I do comment on the post myself. It's such a warm and loving community for ascending souls and, you know, people on this path of evolution. You know, we're here for you. Sometimes we can feel alone because the people around us don't understand us. We're not physically alone. And so Spirit is saying to you, reach out, because that support is there. There are so many people that are going through what you're going through. There are so many people that are have been through what you're going through, and they are there for you. You know, we're all here for each other. We're in this together. So, you know, please don't feel like you're alone. The swan. The swan is a symbol of eternal love, and it says here, time for a deep dive. I'm hearing this is a beautiful symbol for you, you know, and they're reminding me again of what I was saying in the intro about spring and winter. You know, in winter, you know, we experience that death energy. Everything dies back. The flowers disappear, the leaves all fall off the trees, and it appears that everything's dead and done. But there's so much happening beneath the surface, you know, under the surface where we can't see what's happening. There's so much regeneration and growth and renewal and recovery. And then, you know, when spring comes and the light shines again, everything comes back into bloom. Now, those flowers that died and returned, they have the same essence and the same energy, but they're new. They're not the same anymore. They look the same, but they're different. They have a renewed sense of energy and vigor. And this is what you're going through. You're going through your winter, and you're about to be reborn, and it's going to be okay. You know, you're going to be diving deep into a much more fulfilling energy of love, energy of light. We've got these beautiful goddesses here as well coming to support you. Freya, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy yes. And I'm hearing part one, that it's this that has actually brought you into the energy you're in now. You've learned to say yes only when you want it. You know, you've learned what's right for you and what's wrong for you. You've learned to say no. You know, this is about boundaries. This is about following your own truth, discerning your own truth, even when it's hard. And this is what I mean about courage and bravery. You've been so strong to walk into this ending, to embrace it despite how hard it is. You've done the hard bit, and even though it's hurting right now, you know, you are moving into calmer waters. There's hope. You've just got to create this new way forward now, a new way of being, and this solitude that you're experiencing is giving you the space to do that. Lakshmi's here to remind you as well, I choose to feel abundant. Wealth isn't an inside job. You know, this is reminding you that you have way more power in this situation than you realize. You know, as a divine feminine energy, you are a born creator. You know, divine feminines give that spark of life. And you've got to recognize that it all starts with your thoughts. Thoughts plus belief equals creation. And you're being asked to imagine and to make clear to the universe exactly how it is that you want to live and where you're going. It's wise not to be too specific. You know, for example, if you need a new home, you know, make clear that you want a stable, happy home where you can feel safe. if you're very specific about it's got to be number 10 Paloma Avenue, you know, that might be more challenging. It's wise to leave room for what's meant for us rather than being really specific. And that's an important message for you, because I believe that you do practice manifestation and you get frustrated when it doesn't come to fruition. But sometimes maybe you're being too specific and you need to leave space for the universe to deliver not just what you need and want, but what's actually meant for you. I'm guided to remind you can't manifest people also. You know, people have free will, and it's both unwise and unethical to try and control people through the use of magic or manifestation. And I think you're aware of that. And I don't think it's like you've been doing spells or anything like this, but if you've been trying to manifest a person or a connection, even with the greatest of intentions, you know, you've got to recognize that you can only manifest the energy that helps you be ready for what you want when it comes to people. We can't force them to come towards us. But, you know, you are worthy of abundance, and the universe is saying that you've got to create space to allow them to deliver it. Mirabai, the Saint of Freedom, love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. This is a very powerful message for you right now while you sit in this energy of loneliness. Because as a divine feminine on her growth path, and you know, with this Queen of Wands energy, as I said, you intellectually know that loving yourself, coming into union with yourself, is what sets you free, you know, being married to your own soul. But this is a powerful reminder that this is the path you're on and that you can achieve this. As I said, there's others who understand you, feel, have been where you've been, and what they've found is that they can transcend all of this pain, and you can too, and you needed to be reminded of that. Everything that you're experiencing right now is transient. It's not going to stay like this, and you know, everything can be okay. You just need to realize your own power to more swiftly and gracefully transform this situation. And again, there's a message for you here to focus on manifestation, but to resist being too specific in what it is you're trying to achieve. For example, you know, you may have career ambitions and you want to do a specific job in a specific place. Instead, you could think about what that career means to you and how it would make you feel. So let's say, you know, you wanted to be a nurse, you want to work in a specific hospital, and the reasons behind that is because you love caring for people. It's, you know, geographically convenient to your home, and this particular hospital pays well and takes care of their employees. But rather than specifying that, what you could say is, I want to be a nurse. I need to care for people. I want to work in an environment where I'm valued and looked after as an employee, and I need this role to be convenient and accessible. Now, it may be inconceivable to you what other opportunities are out there. So again, by being less specific and instead focusing on, you know, the objective, the root of our objective, which is stability, comfort, feeling good and valued, having an opportunity to care, you know, we give the universe more room to figure out where we're meant to be and deliver unto us what we're asking for. I hope that makes sense. It's coming through very strong for you. But again, you know, there's a big pat on the back for you here where this discernment is concerned, because I'm hearing it took you such a long time to develop healthy boundaries. You know, generally when we start putting boundaries in place, we get pretty strong reactions, and these can be very triggering for the empath. You know, people will call you selfish, they'll guilt trip you, shame you, tell you you're wrong, because they want you to continue meeting their needs. And so you've had to face all of that, and you've still risen above it and done what's right for you. And again, you know, there's so much pride around this. For you, you know, just well done. And you need to trust that's the right thing, that there is no guilt. You can release that shame. This has made you more defensive. It's very hard when you recognize the need to develop healthier boundaries and assert them, but when people are constantly challenging them, you know, we can often be hyper defensive and swing to an opposite extreme. So there is a message to evaluate which of your boundaries are helpful and which are more limiting barriers. That's something you have to discern yourself. You know, the people around you that are commanding you to release those boundaries or barriers or pushing back against them can't be trusted. You have to trust yourself. But there is a message here to recognize that some of them are not in balance, and that that's something you need to address. Okay, let's get some more oracle cards for you and tarot cards. What else does Spirit need you to know, Pile 1? I'd like to get some more information about this ending as well. We've got the 5 of Wands, the 8 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, and the 10 of Cups. So, you know, I mentioned betrayal energy with that 10 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords is coming out here. The 7 of Swords is connected to betrayal and deceit, manipulation, that kind of energy. And we see someone hidden here behind the moon, behind the dark moon. So definitely it feels with this 10 of Cups and 7 of Swords that there was some kind of betrayal here. Something was being kept from you. There was conflict, games, lack of integrity is what I'm hearing very strongly. The 8 of Pentacles has also come up. So this may have created endings in the workplace as well, or forced you to assess your career options or work situation. There's such a great deal of shifting here in all areas of your life, both the material situation, i.e. work, home life, but also an emotional and mental level. In fact, we've got fire, earth, air and water here, all of the elemental bodies represented. So this has been a very powerful ending for you in more ways than one. No wonder you're reeling. You know, you've had a tower moment, you've had everything's come crashing down, and you have to start over, you know, with this star energy. So no wonder this has been very, very hard for you. You know, give yourself a break, stop beating yourself up. Anyone would have found this difficult. I'm hearing for some of you what's challenging is that you may have been in a, you know, what you felt was a more productive ascending kind of energy before this tower came down. And so you think, you know, it's kind of destroyed the progress you've made. But that's not how healing works. You know, healing isn't linear. It doesn't just get easier and easier and easier and easier. What tends to happen is we feel good for a while, we're more balanced, then another healing wave comes and we might revert back to old patterns, to revisit them again, to release some more, and we can cycle back through all the pain we thought we released. In truth, we're just being asked to see it from a new perspective because you have grown. It's kind of like, okay, you know, we've dealt with this shadow aspect before, but there's more growth here. We want you to look at it again because you understand it now in a different way. So it's not, you know, symptomatic of your failure, which is how you're perceiving it. What else does Spirit want you to know? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and Temperance. Okay, so this feels like a soulmate connection. The Queen of Pentacles is earth energy, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. King of Wands is Leo energy, also associated with Sagittarius and Aries. Temperance is about perfect balance and harmony. This is a very twin flamey soulmate energy. It's about bringing everything into perfect balance. Now, when the Queen of Pentacles shows up, you know, that is a very committed, nurturing, very affectionate and stable energy. The King of Wands brings all the fire. The King of Wands brings all the passion and the creativity. This is strong kind of leadership energy. In the traditional sense, these signs don't necessarily match or are compatible. Obviously, we need to look at what else is in your natal charts. But what I'm hearing is this person that you're dealing with, you know, there's a powerful soul connection here. And actually, a lot of the changes you're experiencing are as a result of this connection and the growth that it has introduced into your zone of awareness. The Queen of Pentacles reminds you how powerful you are as a manifesting goddess, you know, as a creator of abundance, how much power you actually have to create stability and to lead in any given situation. You may have had to be financially dependent on others, and so there's some energy here of panic, of, oh my God, you know, now I've got to take care of everything myself. If any of the queens can do it, it's the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. You know, they've got the spirit and earth energy on their side, and they're all about, you know, creating with such powerful drive. So there's a message here again that, you know, you can do this. You have all the skills and tools that you need. And that even though this connection you've been experiencing is really challenging you, it's actually lifting you up and providing you with all of the guidance, wisdom and tools you need to carve out the life that you actually deserve. You know, even though these changes have been devastating, you've got to trust part one. You are moving on to much greater things. Once you cycle through this period of intense and difficult change, you're going to emerge on the other side feeling much happier, much brighter, much more empowered, much more satisfied and fulfilled with life. You know, you've got this. You've really got this. I want to understand more about this connection. What's happening there for you? Okay, so we've got the Tower. We've got the Six of Pentacles. And we've got the Eight of Cups. Okay, so this ending was probably associated with your person as well. The Eight of Cups is runner energy. It's someone leaving. We've got the Tower here, which again, we've already discussed, you know, when everything comes crashing down. This is an interesting Tower card because what we see is these meteors charging in and, you know, crashing into things. There's the divine feminine statue here represented rather than a tower, and this portal of crazy activity. So remember, the Tower is divine intervention. Again, I want to remind you that the Tower crashes when we least expect it. This meteor comes unexpectedly. We couldn't anticipate it, and now we have to suck up and ride with the change. So it is divine intervention. But the resulting energy here is separation. You know, the Six of Pentacles is a lack of reciprocity. It's two people that aren't giving and receiving in equal measure. And so there's no balance or harmony in the connection. This temperance that we're looking for, and the energy that, you know, needs to be achieved wasn't able to I guess, wasn't able to be sustained because of the nature of the energies being presented here. The Tower blew everything up. But the Eight of Cups is definitely someone that's going away to find themselves. And remember, even though it's a running energy, the Eight cycles in on itself. It's the number of infinity. In the Eight of Cups, this person moves away temporarily and then they return. The Eight is also representative of those healing cycles that I was talking about, you know, that we're never really done. We're always constantly going back over it, but we're ascending every time. Each time we revisit the same story, we have a new perspective and deeper meaning and understanding. So you and your person are separated right now for a reason. You know, you've got to trust that it's not permanent, that again, the universe is creating space for you to grow in the way which you need to. What do we need to know about this person and what it means to you both right now? We've got the Moon, the Ace of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. And I want to get some more oracle cards here as well. We've got imperfect harmony, some more temperance energy, the Uncharted Sea, and it is what it is. So, again, another major arcana card for you, the Moon. Now, the Moon is all about fear, illusion, and intuition. And what we're seeing with the Moon energy here is that you two are both still learning to trust yourselves. And so by that very nature, you are still struggling to trust one another. I feel like both of you are bringing betrayal trauma into the equation, which further complicates how you interact with one another, because you are both by nature very afraid of rejection, abandonment, betrayal, all of that energy. There are many, many triggers here and preconditioned responses to those energies. The Ace of Cups reminds us, and I do think this is a very soulmate or twin connection you're experiencing, because the Ace of Cups is about true love. Unity, consciousness, one love, you know, it's about oneness, and it's also guiding you back to that oneness within. Remember, being married to your own soul. There's also the energy of endurance here with the Nine of Wands, and you know, this is what it is. And so the message here is you can't get off this train. I know it sucks, and sometimes you think, well, hold a minute, I've got free will. Well, we have got free will to deal with what universe presents in the way that we choose, but we don't get to choose the circumstances that present always. You know, we have a certain amount of control and opportunity and choice, but in real terms, life happens. You know, it happens for us, not to us, but it happens and we get to choose how we deal with it. But there is the energy of endurance here, you know, the energy of stamina. This is spirit saying, keep going, part one. It's going to be okay. Don't give up, because you're almost at completion as well. Remember, 9 is a step before 10, the energy of wholeness and completion. And 9 is also hermit energy. We have to be on our own before we can reach the completion energy of 10. We have to learn to embody our own energy and to marry our own souls, you know, to come into unities with our own souls. It is what it is. You know, there's a bridge here showing you the way to the door, you know, this magical door. Look how light that is. You know, the stars are guiding you towards it. And this is a number 6 energy. You know, this is the number of unconditional love. That's what you're going towards. When you find yourself complaining about how difficult this journey is, when you find yourself thinking, I want to get off this bloody crazy train, you know, just remember, it is what it is. This is what's meant for me. And, you know, Spirit's asking you to keep moving forward with the situation with this person. I know it's very hard, but there is something meaningful and purposeful about what's happening between you. It's guiding you back to yourselves. Music is indicated here with this number 11 card. Remember, 11 is the number of unity, consciousness and awakening. In perfect harmony. This is more temperance energy. For me, this really speaks of sound healing and how you communicate at a vibrational frequency, you two, even when you're not literally communicating in a 3D way, you are exchanging so much information, light codes, you know, you activate one another and help bring the other into balance without taking any 3D action. This is a very powerful connection that's intended to put you on this journey towards self-love. Look at this, the Uncharted Sea. And this is a number 46. Again, that reduces to 10, the energy of completion. And what we see here is that even though, you know, this boat, the water looks a bit, you know, wavy, beneath the surface, everything is calm. And that's what I was reminding you about the winter spring energy. Sometimes when things seem really difficult, in truth, beneath the surface, there's this stillness just waiting to rise up and meet us. You can trust that you're going to move into calmer waters soon. You know, stick with this and trust that it's worthwhile. I feel that some of you have been this energy of, you know, I want to get off this train. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm abandoning this journey. I'm focusing on me. You're meant to focus on you. But abandoning the journey is to deprive yourself of all the wisdom and guidance that this journey makes available to you. It is what it is. You know, there's a need for radical acceptance here. Stop resisting what is. You know, that's the opposite of surrender energy. You know, we can't deny our reality, and this is what it is, and it's going to be much more productive for you to just acknowledge and accept that. Right, let's get some final guidance cards for you. I'm going to get some charms as well. So we'll get some more animal cards. And I'm going to pull a card from the Cosmic Reading deck and read you that from the book, because it's such a beautiful deck, and the messages always sum up the entire reading so beautifully in my experience when I use that deck. Okay, we've got Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide, a number 10. We've got Groundhog Spirit, time to let go, and Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. And some more divine feminine cards as well. We've got Inanna, the Queen of Heaven and Earth. We've got Dakini, the Enlightened Feminine. And we've got Saint Bridget, Our Lady of Exalted Light. And from the charms, we've got the tape measure, the moth, the rose tinted glasses, the asthma pump, the yin yang symbol, a police car, the hourglass, and the dead battery. And from the Cosmic Reading cards, these are the ones I'm going to read from the book. We'll read that last. We've got, wow, you got 2. Move forward and shine. I'm going to photograph the words from Shine and put it on my community page and read the move forward one from you. I feel like everyone needs to hear the message in Shine. Okay, final guidance for you, pile 1. Oh, I beg your pardon, a little bit of paper came out of the charm bowl as well, so we'll read that too. Buffalo, spirit, groundhog, lizard. The abundant universe will provide time to let go, dream this world into being. I'm guided you may want to journey or work with these power animals. I'm feeling a strong shamanistic energy. And as you know, I use animal cards in most readings. That doesn't always come through, that message. But there's something very earthy about your energy. Remember, you came through as the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of the Earth. The Queen of Wands is the Queen of Fire. And you put these energies together, you combine them, and you know, you have this power to dream this new world into being. The universe is ready to provide for you trust in unity, completion, and abundance. It's ready to provide. You just need to create space by letting go of how you thought things should be. This is what's causing you grief and pain. It's the energy of sacrifice, the feeling that you've had to give so much up to be where you are now, and you've not backfilled that pot. You know, that's why it still feels like such a loss. But you can let that go. You know, stability and abundance will start flowing again. And you see this little groundhog here bringing this heart up to its lips. You know, bringing love towards himself. It's clinging to it. You know, it's saying you've got to let go. You've got to let the go that you needed love outside of self. You know, remember Mirabai, love is what sets you free. You're married to your own soul. It's in you. You can let go of the love that's, you know, you've been desperately grasping at outside of self. Inanna, the Queen of Heaven and Earth, I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. And isn't that powerful? Queen of Heaven and Earth, Queen of Fire, Queen of Earth. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. Pile 1, you are beautiful and worthy just as you are. You know, there's a message here to step into your true power and release the fear of judgment from others. If there's something about these changes you're going through that have made you feel ashamed or triggered or potentially triggered by the judgment of others, there's a very clear message here to just embrace your power and release what other people think about you. In accepting yourself, you receive the peace you need. You don't need the acceptance from others. Dakini, the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. So again, there's a message here about stop looking outside of self for answers. Your discernment is on point. When you turn towards yourself, towards your own truth, this is when you make the most powerful decisions. It's when you allow yourself to be influenced by the strategy, manipulation, and needs of others that you start to waver and you start to move off your true north point. You know, the compass point is no longer working for you. You've got to remember your power. You know what's right for you more than anybody, and you can trust what's right for you. Trust your own inner truth. St. Bridget, Our Lady of Exalted Light, I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. I was talking to my friends about this the other day. You know, love is a circle, it's self-fulfilling. When you give yourself lots and lots of love, it overflows from you in abundance. There's an infinite source of it. So when we learn to come into union with ourselves, when we marry to our own souls, we find ourselves connected to this stream, this infinite flow of love, and then we're empowered to continue giving unconditionally. Previously, you were giving so much without filling your own tank. So there's a message here. Don't feel guilty for having taken back your time and power to nurture and fill up your own cup. This is a very essential part of your journey. You're not selfish, you're sensible. You had to do this. And until you filled your own cup and stepped in the energy, you are relieved of having to give to anyone else. Anyone that expects or commands that is out of balance, my friend. You have to care for yourself first. You can't feed someone if you're not feeding yourself. That's being a martyr. You've got to take care of yourself. Your first priority is to yourself. So I know that you feel bad that you're no longer giving and supporting the people you used to, but it's only because you have to give that to yourself right now. You're going to be empowered to give again. But, you know, this is going to be giving without agenda. Previously, because your own tank was empty, the drive to give was often born of the desire to receive. You know, that's how broken love works. If you're not connected to that infinite source of love, the circle of love, you know, you need to give to get something back. You need that love from outside of self because you're not filling your own tank. And so the giving and the loving isn't authentic. The objective, the true agenda is to receive, and it's out of balance. So all of what you gave anyway was in vain. It just drained you. It benefited everyone else, but it drained you, and it wasn't coming from a place of truth or authenticity. You're now empowered to fill that tank and to give authentically, and you can give so much more from this place. The moths come up for you. You know, it's reminding you of this powerful transformation and how much purity and, you know, beautiful love and light is available to you in that. The tape measure for me is always about, you know, being patient, take your time, be measured in your approach, temper that frustrating urge for everything to rush. We can't skip chapters. You're exactly where you're meant to be. The pain is because of that rose-tinted glasses coming off. As I said, you know, right now you're coming to terms with things can't be exactly as you wanted them to be, and you have to embrace what is and let go of what you wanted. That doesn't mean you're not going to get what you want. It just means that it's not how it is now, and that's okay. The yin yang symbol, I think, is always, you know, comes up to remind us of the journey we were on in terms of exploring our light and dark aspects. There's a message here about judgment as well. You know, it's reminding us that we're all made of light and dark. And often as we start ascending, it's tempting to look down on, you know, those that aren't. It's tempting to see all the, you know, so-called unawakened souls still deeply in ego. You're being asked to resist that judgment, to recognize that even when we choose to embody the light, we still have these dark aspects. We've just learned to, you know, be in the light rather than the dark. But not everyone has that strength. Not everyone has had that opportunity to learn how to do that. We're all working at different paces, and it isn't a competition. Sometimes you can get very frustrated, you know, when people can't meet you on the bridge, or they don't see the light way to react, respond, or behave. But it's not their fault. You know, they're still stuck in the dark where you once were, where I once was. It doesn't pay us to judge them. We've got to find compassion, you know, just the way we find compassion for ourselves. This is, for me, obviously a symptom of anxiety, but also a coping mechanism. It says on here, breather. It also says 58 mil. I don't know if the number's 58 is significant for you, but I felt guided to mention that. So, you know, there's a need to address your anxiety and to find healthy coping mechanisms around that. I don't think you necessarily consider yourself always an anxious person, but anxiety is often a very physical symptom. And what I'm picking up here is a great deal of tension in the chest, tired and exhausted muscles, you know, and overall feelings of exhaustion. And anxiety creates all of that because when we're anxious, we don't breathe properly. So, you know, the chest becomes tighter because it's struggling to get air. The muscles don't have enough oxygen and they start to ache. So you perhaps hadn't recognized that a lot of the symptoms you're experiencing are as a result of the tension that's manifesting physically in your body. Running and exercise, I'm hearing, is the best way for you to release this. We've got the police car here. Now, there's different energies with this. Okay, there's two different messages coming through. One is associated with guilt and shame and the feeling that something in the past is going to come back and bite you. The message here is that you did your best with the information you had to release that guilt and shame and to recognize that if this comes up to face you, it's something you can override and deal with. It's not the end. So there doesn't need to be anxiety or panic around this. For some of you, this is also reverting back to what we were saying about judgment and recognizing that it's not always your place to fight injustice or to educate people, you know, in the proper way. You're not the police. It's not your job. You don't have to take that responsibility. The hourglass, of course, asks us to trust in divine timing. This is a powerful message for you that everything's, you know, moving in the way it's meant to, and to, you know, to accept what is. We've got this dead battery here, which for me is reminding you again to fill your own tank, to take care of yourself in mind, body and spirit first, that you're no good to anyone when you're running on empty. The blank piece of paper, I always take the message of say nothing. There's nothing to be said right now. If you're yearning for communication, just trust that the reason there isn't any is because there's not meant to be. It's not personal. It's just that right now there needs to be this blank space so that you can both start building a foundation upon it. So before I take it to the extended, I'm going to read you the Move Forward card and the headline from this Shine card. I wasn't meant to choose two, and it's quite a long message. So I'm going to take a photo of this and put it on the community page so that everyone can enjoy the message there. But for this Move Forward for you, I'm going to read this one. It says, you can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. You're being encouraged to let go and release the skeletons of your past. Constantly shifting back and forth between better or harder times only takes away from today. Constantly resurrecting situations and circumstances that are long gone only serves to take away from this moment. You exhaust valuable energy holding on to frustrations that keep you tied to the memories of past skeletons. Being in this state of mind is no different to keeping you locked in one chapter of a book. This book never ends due to your inability to move forward. Moving forward physically is not the same as moving forward mentally. Although your physical body carries you through to experience each day, your mind lingers and holds on to the past. Having this duality of mind and body does not allow the present moment to be fully appreciated and utilized. This may leave you wondering why your visions and dreams always seem to be out of reach. To enjoy a life of manifestation and fulfilled dreams, your mind, body and spirit must work together as one, for it is only through working in wholeness that you are able to create a life of choice. This is the secret to abundance and real joy. The past is the past. Embrace its lessons and be grateful for the memories and adventures it has brought to your life. And now breathe in deep and let it go. For it is time to move on, dear one. As challenging as it may be, it is time. New adventures and possibilities await. This is going to make me cry, part one. The affirmation is, I'm grateful for my past experiences, good and hard. I embrace the lessons learned and now I move forward courageously. And the associated chakras are base, sacral and solar plexus. I feel so much love for you when I'm reading this because I know that you're so ready to do this. And again, that looking into the past energy and panicking really came through in this card. Gratitude. Fully appreciate these lessons that life is lovingly presenting to you. It's safe for you to move forward. There is so much good coming to you. I'm sending you so much light. Thank you so much for tuning into my reading today. Just quickly before we go, I want to give you the headlines of Shine, and then I'm going to take this over to the extended. Shine, for you not only light your path, but the path of others around you. Again, if you'd like to read this, it will be on my community page. But you know, this is your time. You're moving on to such beautiful big things. I really hope this helped. Please let me know in the comments. If you'd like to join me over at the extended, you can find the link in the description box below. But thank you for being here. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your beautiful comments. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you next time. Take care. Happy selves. Bye. Hello, part 2. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Yellow Calcite and the Affirmators Tarot. I'm going to give them a really good shuffle. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and welcome to all of my new subscribers. These are my favourite readings to do. I know I've been saying that so much lately. I love doing them all, I really do. But I think with this reading, it's the most helpful because it gives Spirit the space to bring forward the messages that we really, really need. The messages we didn't even know that we needed. So just take a nice long deep breath for me, in through the nose, really fill up your tummy like a balloon, exhale all the way out, create space for your truest intentions. Just, you know, set the intention that you want to receive the messages you really need, the messages you're ready for. We're going to choose a ton of oracle cards. We're going to choose charms as well. There will be an extended today. And, you know, we're just bringing through whatever it is you need to know the most. This could be related to anything going on in your life right now. It could be love, relationships, family, career, health. Let's see what comes through for you, part 2. Give these a really, really good shuffle. You can ask for a sign as well. Signs are so very helpful. They help to anchor and validate the messages we're receiving. They help to instill faith and a sense of trust in the messages that Spirit deliver. So a sign can be anything. It can be an animal, it can be an object, a symbol, whatever works for you. Okay, we've got the King of Wands, so Leo energy there. We've got Hermit in reverse, that's Virgo energy. We've got the Hierophant, Taurus energy, and the Page of Wands, fire energy. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I know I don't always do the signs. Sometimes I feel guided to, so you obviously needed to hear it. Three of Cups and Knight of Wands, more Aries energy there. We've got Death, that's Scorpio. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, that's Earth, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Let's get some oracle cards as well. This is the Divine Feminine Oracle. If you're interested in what decks I'm using, I do always list them in the description box below. Lolita, the Red Goddess. Enheduanna, the High Priestess. And Fatima, the Mother of Imams. And from the Animal Spirit Oracle, we've got Frog Spirit. And we've got Snake Spirit. And this is the Power of Love activation cards. We have Compassion and Trust. I'm going to get more oracle cards, but let's work with what's out on the table for now. Okay, pile 2. What are the messages for you? What do you need to know the most? There is a tremendous energy of drive and inspiration about this reading. This is very empowered energy. This is someone that's stepping into mission, stepping into light work, connected to this divine flow of inspired action that just drives you forward in such a meaningful way. This is a lovely energy to be in because it just carries you. You know, this is the energy of not having to make too many decisions, of just finding yourself moving into a much more buoyant, lovely energy. With the King of Wands, this is the energy of leadership, and I feel that you're making big waves in terms of lighting up the world in whichever way, you know, you're trying to do that. And it's working. You needed to know that it's working for you. There is a message here that you do need to make time for yourself. You need to carve out that time, and that this is going to further empower your ability to shine that light. You've got to live by what you're teaching is the message here. You know, to remember that when you're trying to support and guide others, people have this kind of antenna and radar. And quite often, you know, when we share guidance, if it comes from a place of knowledge rather than experience, there's something less tangible about it. And so you're being reminded that the guidance that you're channeling is also for you, and you need to live by these truths. The Hermit in reverse is a really poignant reminder of that. It's saying to you, give more time to yourself, go within, because there is more available to you, more knowledge, more wisdom, more guidance, more love, more light. There's always more. There's more coming for you here, pile 2. There's a need to be playful, and there's a need not to disregard the guidance of others. There's someone in your zone of awareness that is there for a reason. I'm hearing that this person is very, very challenging. They trigger you. They make life very difficult. It's easy to get frustrated with this energy. It's easy to get frustrated with this person and to resist, resent, and deny their presence in your life. But I'm hearing that this person is your greatest teacher. This person is the key to your transformation. And the difficult challenges they are presenting is representative of exactly what you need to grow. Now, what's really interesting about this when I mention growth is I'm seeing we've got almost the whole family here, the King, the Knight, and the Page of Wands. Remember, they represent the element of fire. They're all about divine inspiration, creativity, passion, fast forward moving energy. Think about fire as an energy. It's both powerful, but it can also be destructive if it's not used in a measured and controlled way. And this is what you're being guided back to. I do feel that you're a natural born light worker, you're a natural born psychic or intuitive. And as these senses have come online, you're kind of more advanced in terms of your psychic development than you are in your healing. So you're channeling stuff that you haven't yet integrated yourself. And I understand this because this is what I do. You know, a lot of people that watch my readings, they think, oh my God, Charlotte's so wise. I'm really not. You know, I'm channeling this stuff I'm bringing through. Sometimes I relate to it by experience, but more often than not, the messages are meant for me as well. And this is what's coming through for you, to really pay attention to what Spirit is sharing through you, and the reminder that it's meant for you too, and that you need to take more time to reflect on the lessons being presented and the people in your zone of awareness that are delivering those lessons. And as I said, they're challenging, they're hard. Let me pull another card because I just want to get some clarity here on who this person is and how you might be able to identify them. Okay, so we've got the World in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands. So the Ten of Pentacles is connected to family, abundance, and career. It's a much more stable energy relating to our material world. The World in reverse shows us that there's a cycle that's been going on and on and on here, connected probably to ancestral or family karma. And the Six of Wands is coming out to reassure you that you can be victorious, that you can resolve that, but that your power is adjusting how you react. I think that because you've just moved into this energy of mission and you're so clear on what's right and what's needed, you see so clearly, you feel into the energy in such a powerful way that it's very tempting to want to fix those who are around you and the situations that you've been finding difficult. The message here is that you're empowered to do that through the fixing of self, that the lessons that are being brought forward are for you, and you need to develop more of that self-focus so that you can really exploit the benefits available to you through what you're guiding others. The Hierophant is about that high learning, and again, you know, there was a message here to pay attention to what's outside of you, to your teachers, and they may not look like teachers. This is connected to a powerful transformation. It's going to shift you out of the energy of what is this? It's the energy of indecision. It's connected to self-worth, and it boils back to recognizing who you are. Throughout life, you've been very opportunistic when it comes to deciding what to do next. So rather than having firm plans and ideas about how life should be, opportunities arise and you kind of grab them, you know. So you've kind of drifted dependent on who was around you and what opportunities they've presented. And there's something about the energy of how you're working presently that is much more goal-oriented. It's much more strategic, should we say. And Spirit's asking you to consider that that doesn't serve you. You kind of, you know, as I said, it feels like you're being carried forward, but in that there's this energy of control that is turning you away from the guidance that is meant for you, because you have quite fixed ideas about what needs to come next. And I'm hearing that this approach is inhibiting you from achieving the new beginning that is meant for you. Now, frog energy comes up for you. For me, frog energy is the energy of creation, but it says here, clear out the clutter. Clear out the clutter, and I'm hearing this is clutter of the mind. This is clutter connected to egoic impulses. Everything is not as it seems. When you're looking into others, you have this ability to discern that's very, very, it's very, very astute. It's like on point. Your discernment is on point. But again, when you turn the energy towards yourself, it becomes muddied, it becomes cluttered. Strong messages here. this person, I believe, is connected to the family unit. You may work with this person as well, but this cycle is an ongoing thing that you felt very disempowered in. And the message here is that you can be victorious there when you stop concentrating on changing how they perceive the situation and instead focus on choosing a new way to respond. The snake. It's time for you to heal and shed skin. I relate to this as well. Do you know what? This energy feels very similar to what I've been through in the past. And my experience when I woke up was that all of my psychic senses came online. And even though I embraced the healing path, my psychic knowledge and ability to tap into wisdom exceeded my own experience and understanding. And that's what I mean by when I'm channeling things I don't know or understand myself. And, you know, so the message here is to give credence and value to what you're bringing forward for others and to connect it and integrate it with your own truth. Very powerful transformation available to you here, but you need to understand as well that this gliding energy that's just pushing you forward and, you know, is meant to be because you're needed. Your energy is needed in the ways that you're, you know, applying it right now. And that was a divinely inspired action to reach out into your community and give. And this is what happened to me. And about 1.5 years in, it was kind of like I suddenly fell flat on my face. And it was like, listen, you were meant to be learning this stuff as you go, you know. And I didn't really realize how much of that wasn't actually integrated. I assumed because I was channeling it, I knew it and I'd already done that work. I wasn't really, you know, taking it for myself as well. And so I had to kind of cycle back to the beginning and start over with my own healing process. And this is what's happening for you right now. You know, you're moving into a territory where you're actually being challenged to rise up and apply what you've been teaching others. This is the message for you. And we've got this red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. So, you know, to maintain, you have got a beautiful, youthful energy about this. And I feel that you're reaching into communities that otherwise wouldn't be receiving this light. You have a way of reaching people that aren't looking for this guidance. And so you're lighting up corners of the world that would have otherwise remained in the shadows. And they're reminding you not to get too serious. It's this playful, youthful energy that is making you so powerful in your approach and the results that you're seeing in the community you're working for. Sometimes you think that you should be different, that you need to adjust the way you channel or deepen the messages or you know, be more profound in your delivery, but you're not acknowledging that actually it is this playful, youthful, beautiful purity, innocence and lightheartedness that is leading people back to the light. It's through that very fun and beautiful energy that you're able to reach so many. So, you know, it's not necessarily about changing how you give, it's about adjusting how you receive. A very powerful message there. Compassion. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing living love. This is you. This is you all over. You know, you are loving in a beautiful, beautiful way. And it feels like there's this infinite stream of loving energy and consciousness constantly flowing you to support this mission. You have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. You know, you are on the right path, pile 2. This is spirit reminding you how valued you are, how important the work is that you're doing, but also, you know, bringing to your attention, remember this is a 5-5. Together they add up to 10, the energy of completion, but independently 5 is the energy of transformation, higher learning, like we see in the Hierophant, the need to look outside of ourselves and observe what the world is teaching us. You know, obviously we have to trust our inner voice, our intuition, but the world is teaching us, the people around you are teaching you right now, your family is teaching you. And I feel like you may have been running away from that rather than facing it. And it's because previously when you've tried to tackle that issue, you've tried to control the people in it rather than looking at yourself. Your power to resolve this is in, you know, how you interact and move with the energies that are being presented. See what else Spirit wants to bring forward. The Three of Pentacles, the Fool, the Five of Wands. I'm going to get some oracle cards as well. This is the Oracle of Seven Energies. We've got a higher view, ears wide open, and a burst of magic. This is such lovely energy. Please comment down below and tell me if you're a light worker or how this resonates, because I love these beautiful uplifting reads when they come through. The Three of Pentacles. Remember we said look outside, you know, listen to the people around you and what they're trying to teach you. They may not be apparent as teachers. The Three of Pentacles is about collaboration and teamwork, and we've got a higher view here. And again, this is 41 that reduces to 5, the energy of transformation. And we see this lady riding an owl, you know, that symbol of wisdom. And so again, you know, the message is here, don't be so isolated in these practices. Reach out into the community of light workers. Reach out to people that are sharing this mission and highest perspective. There is power for you there. We are stronger when we work together. We rise by lifting each other. It's collaboration, it's teamwork. This is what's leading to a new beginning. Again, ears wide open. There's 2 3s here, the energy of divine feminine energy, and it reduces to number 6, the energy of unconditional love. We've got the fennec fox represented here. Remember, fox is strategic energy. It's shrewd. It's paying attention because it knows the information available to him is valuable. It's what allows for this new beginning. It's what reinforces your faith and your ability to move forward. Don't be competitive. If you felt triggered by other people working in your community, if you felt that energy of competition from them or towards them, this is something that you need to transmute. There's a message for you here to rise above that and to not be sucked into that competitive energy. You know, there's a burst of magic here, as I said, that's driving you forward. You've woken up and moved straight into mission before you've really understood what it is you're even doing, and that's magical. It is magical, you know, that we can just suddenly wake up and have this impulse to do so much great in the world with all of this beautiful energy behind us, this spiritual activation, you know, that has empowered you to take these steps. But there is an energy here that's inhibiting you, you know, the fear of how others in the community are perceiving you, or perhaps you've been on the receiving end of envy, you know, bitter envy, or, you know, people not being supportive of you. And it's in those energies, it's easy to just think, oh God, what a hateful person, I'm going to avoid them. Or perhaps even to retaliate, you know, to shift into ego and start that difficult confrontation or competitive communication. Whatever your situation is with this, you're being asked to rise above it and to demonstrate compassion and love. Demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living in love. Don't allow other people's ill behaviours to guide yours. You know, don't allow it to harden your heart. We don't have to stoop to their level. Look how pissed off these dragonflies are. And what's interesting about dragonfly, you see their little miserable faces? You know, dragonfly energy, when you think about the dragonfly, it skims the surface of the water, doesn't it? Water represents the emotional body, our emotional natures. And so this dragonfly, it can't get into that compassion energy. It can't dive deep into love and communicate that light in the way you can. So, you know, you're being challenged to step up and handle differently this situation, to lead by example, to lead with love, to lead from that place of truth that is, you know, flowing through you in abundance right now. There's the Queen of Wands. We've got the whole family of fire out here. I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a lot of fire in your chart. We've got Leo energy here, we've got Aries, and we've got Sagittarius. They're all showing up for us, the whole family. You know, this reminds me that you come from spirit, that you were born an old soul. You were born with this fire in your belly. You were born to do this. And, you know, whatever these people have said that has made you doubt yourself, that has made you question what you're doing, you need to step into your power and keep rushing forward with it. Don't allow them to bother you. This fire is in you. You don't need anyone else to tell you that. You can trust it. You know, just because it's new and you're still finding your way with it doesn't make it any less valuable. You know, trust in this brilliant work you're doing, High Priestess. You know, I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. This is exactly what you're here for. You know, you have past lives where you've been lighting up the world for many lifetimes over. This is why you feel so empowered to do it, because you've done it before. The mother of imams, love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. You know, this really demonstrates how liberal and free thinking you are. You know, love is a religion. It's all we need. We don't need all the dogma created by man. And I don't say that to cause offense to anybody that has religious beliefs, but they all are rivers leading to the same ocean. They all lead back to love. They all guide us back to this one truth, love. And that is enough. You know, love and gratitude can be our religion. We don't need, you know, beyond that. It's beautiful to align with whatever, you know, values each religion presents. But in truth, they are really all rivers leading to the same ocean. And I feel like, you know, if spirituality is new to you and you're not sure what you believe and what you don't, it's enough that you believe in love. It's enough that you believe in light and compassion. It's enough that you come as this kind of social justice warrior, helping people be their best selves. Look at all that fire energy, the Ace of Wands. This is a beautiful new beginning for you, pile 2. This is a launch pad for you. You know, this is the start of something life-changing, world-changing. It's just beautiful, beautiful energy. And, you know, I'm really drawn to how this rabbit, he's blue, the colour of truth, the colour of expression, is surrounded by stars, symbols of hope, inspiration and wish fulfillment. The moon is here supporting this ascension. You know, there's this idea of him springing forward. But remember what rabbit represents. Even though it's a representation of fertility and creation, it's also timid, it's fragile, it's afraid. You know, that rabbit caught in headlights energy. So there is this, oh my God, what am I doing energy. Even though you're being brave and you're diving straight in, you know, there is this energy of, oh my God, what am I actually doing? You know, there's a fear behind it that you're being asked to release, to trust, you know, to step into this Queen of Wands energy, represented here by the cat, which is, you know, deeply connected to our intuitive self. The Wheel of Fortune, wow, and the Seven of Cups. So the Wheel of Fortune is divine intervention. It's about fate, it's about destiny, it's about divine timing, it's about trusting in the flow of energy that's carrying you forward. It may all feel like an illusion or too good to be true, and that's okay. You know, you're being asked to dream a new way of life into being, and through the work you're doing, this is what you're helping to create. You know, you are creating a new world. You're part of a community of light workers that is integrating a new template into the Earth's grid, a new way of being, a new way of seeing relationships, love, people, energy. You know, this is just so powerful, pile 2. It's so very beautiful. What else do you need to know? The Nine of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Four of Swords. Okay, so I'm guided this is coming back to that shedding skin energy. You know, this is time for you to heal. The Nine of Cups, again, it mirrors this Hermit energy. It's a number 9. It's asking you to focus on and bring into balance your own emotional self. When you do that, you are empowered to carry more weight in this world. You know, when we release shadow, we create more room for light, and it empowers us to carry the load for others in a more meaningful way. You know, a sick person can't heal a sick person. You know, we need a healthy person to help heal the sick. And so this is reminding you that the more you focus on self and integrating these lessons of self, the more you're empowered to deliver to others, because there is a fear that you're not up to the task, and it's because it's all new to you. But once you give yourself this space that was highlighted in the beginning, this energy of recovery, you know, you actually start to bring much more balance, stability, and a firm foundation that allows you to climb higher and to help more people. High Priestess in reverse, Queen of Cups in reverse, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So there's a person here in your zone of awareness that doesn't share your spiritual beliefs. I believe this is a romantic connection. This is someone that might be kind of, should we say, spiritually curious, but they've also got quite a big dose of skepticism, you know, in there. and their heart as well. So, you know, they may perceive your very open and loving ways as being a bit hippy-dippy, somewhat misguided, making yourself vulnerable. I'm hearing it actually makes them cringe. You know, they just kind of, oh God, the love and light brigade, here we go. You know, that's not life. Real life is much harsher than that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It doesn't serve us to pretend to be nice. It's this kind of energy of someone that doesn't connect easily to their conscience, to their heart space, to the emotional nature of the circumstances being presented. You know, they're very detached from their own emotional self. And they're not investing in you or this connection. And this makes you doubt. It makes you doubt your own intuition. It makes you doubt your own perception of this situation. And so Spirit is reminding you that their inability to see what you see now does not discredit your experience. Their inability to recognize the truth that you have integrated is not personal or a reflection of what this connection means. Just because they can't see it and can't have it doesn't mean it's not real, doesn't mean it's not beautiful. And so, you know, if you're feeling disheartened because what you think is being challenged by this person, and this does feel like a romantic relationship, you know, this could be someone that you've been sharing your own growth with. I'm growing spiritually, I'm doing this work, or perhaps you've discussed a potential soul connection between you, and they may have been very disparaging, or if not disparaging, not necessarily entirely supportive, you know, a little bit suspicious, a little bit disbelieving, you know, not really being entirely confident in the truth that you're sharing. And, you know, that has, and the sun's gone in as we've said that, you know, the truth isn't illuminated. But in, you know, what's really happening here is that this person doesn't have access to that truth yet. You know, it doesn't mean that you are wrong. I want to get more about this person. What else? Okay, so we've got divine masculine energy there with the Emperor. You know, this could be a twin flame connection for you. And we've got the Five of Cups, Ace of Swords in reverse, and Temperance. So Temperance and the Emperor, this for me suggests this is more than likely a twin flame connection, or a very highly evolved spiritual or soul connection. But there is grief here. You know, there is a lot of unresolved grief and trauma. You've transcended it to allow you to partake in this mission, but it's only been put on pause. It hasn't gone away. It still needs to be healed. And this is the energy that's blocking your connection right now. And again, you know, it boils back to, because you're channeling so much wisdom and light, we can lull ourselves into a false sense of security and think, oh, we've done that work. You know, I already know that. I know that. Remember, knowing isn't being. You've got to take the time to heal and to become that energy. Again, the Ace of Swords is coming up here. This person doesn't yet understand that truth, and that's okay. There isn't a great deal of authenticity in this connection, and you're being guided to be true to yourself anyway. This is what's going to create harmony and space for more truth. It came up in one of my readings yesterday, and it is a similar energy, but the message here, you know, is quite often we don't share our truth because we're fearful of the response. You know, we're fearful of how we'll be perceived. And so quite often what we do share with people about ourselves is contrived. It's designed to impress upon them who we want them to think we are. It's designed to control their perception of us. And that's not truth. You know, that's not authentic expression. That's expression that's strategic as a result of our fears. It's designed to alleviate and subdue our fears. It's designed not to be risky or to make us vulnerable. And that's not authentic communication. And we can often kid ourselves and assume, well, if they're not communicating authentically, it's not safe for me to do that either. But that's misguided. You know, in truth, when we show up authentically, we create more room for authenticity. We lead by example. We say, hey, I'm making myself vulnerable, and in doing that, I'm giving you power to do the same. You know, especially masculine energy. Masculine energy doesn't want to give control away. So it won't say, things that it perceives as giving away that power. If this person knows that about me, they've got control, they've got power over me, they know how to hurt me, it makes me vulnerable. And so we deprive ourselves of the truth because we're so fearful of being truthful and what the potential consequences may be. But in truth, being authentic liberates us. You know, once we've been real, we can trust the response we're receiving because we've laid all our cards on the table. We've shown that person where they truly stand and where we truly stand. And that liberates them to also face their own fear and release the fear, to release the energy of this is risky. And this is what you're being guided to do. Don't allow this person's lack of trust to coerce you into the same energy. You're being asked to stand tall and proud here. There's a lot to do in this connection before it can really come to balance and fruition. Queen of Swords is coming up again in reverse. Again, this is connected to authenticity and the energy of real communication. And again, this is about you learning to trust yourself and your soul's own voice and your own faith and your intuition, so you can unblock this energy and make progress. The Page of Pentacles is a very slow moving energy. It says here to do, the pages are about messages, but they're very measured messages. They're very well thought out. They've been considered from every angle. They're not impulsive. You know, they are born of a desire to communicate exactly what's needed in an authentic way. So that, you know, this is asking you to put a lot of thought into how you communicate and to recognize that the lack of authenticity presents a very real blockage in this connection. The Tower in reverse. Okay, let me get a clarifier for that. Two of Pentacles. Okay, so there is strength in change, and even though the Tower energy can be tumultuous, turbulent, difficult, uncomfortable, when it comes in that change we find strength. And you know, the Two of Pentacles is all about bringing things into balance and promoting change, but we see him here holding up these weights. Again, you know, this change has made him stronger. It's empowered him to rise higher into, you know, there was that suggestion of carrying more weight, you know, being more empowered to be stronger. So don't avoid the Tower energy. You know, I feel like you may have been clinging on to this situation because you're so afraid of it breaking down. And so the message for you here is you can't mess this up. If an ending is needed, it's not necessarily a permanent ending. It's just what's meant to be and what creates space for what needs to be. So when we put this off, when we put off the inevitable because we're so afraid of that Tower coming down, and you know, we've got the fire here, remember we said about that purifying energy. So there's something here you're avoiding. There's something, a cycle that you're afraid to close out because you're fearful of that change. And the message for you that is it's only going to make you that much stronger, you know, that you can trust it. We've got the Sun coming up in reverse for you. You know, until you've made this change, the whole truth cannot be illuminated. So whatever it is you've been on tenterhooks about or procrastinating about, you know, the message here is do it. There are things for you to do. There are changes for you to make. Don't fear the outcome. Trust it's going to empower and strengthen the connection and illuminate more truth. The truth sets you free. It shows everybody where they truly stand and what energies are really available to them. And that's when you can, you know, create space for what's meant for you. So often in these connections, I find that neither party really knows how the other feels about them. Whereas if they knew, that could change everything. And, you know, I don't know this is necessarily about, you know, what's the word? You know, a total confession. You know, we don't want to say things just to get a response and change things. Remember, that's communicating from agenda and not authenticity. But it is about being true to ourselves so the other person can make informed decisions, so they can really know where they stand and where you stand. The Power of Purpose. Great big love. Beyond the ordinary. I love these cards. This is such a beautiful reading pile too. Broken open. The land between. And willing release. Okay, power of purpose. Number 18, that's the energy of the moon also, and broken open. The moon is the power of intuition. It drives us forward even though it doesn't illuminate the shadows. You know, when we're navigating by the light of the moon, we can't see what's ahead. We're taking steps in the dark. And so we have to lean back into our faith and intuition. The moon represents fear and illusion because we can't see clearly. But again, it's about faith. And the power of purpose is reminding you that you don't need to understand the totality of your mission and purpose. You just need to trust in that intuitive, inspired drive that moves you forward. You've been broken open for a reason. This is number 28. Again, this reduces to 10, the energy of completion and unity and wholeness. You know, this healing process that you're going through, this being broken, doesn't disempower you from helping others. I remember that energy too. When I first started doing this work, I felt a pressure to be everything I was talking about. And, you know, I felt like a failure or a fraud when I wasn't succeeding in embodying the energy I was trying to promote. But actually what I discovered is there's a great deal of power in vulnerability and authenticity, that by being real and sharing how I was healing through this process as well, by relating to that energy of brokenness and recognizing in myself, I was able to embody more love and move forward with more purpose. You know, the truth is we're always on our way somewhere. We may take different paths there. This is called the land in between. It's about stability and balance and harmony. You know, we're all taking a different route to the same place. We're all moving back towards this great big unconditional love, but we all find our way there. We all find our ways there in different ways. And again, healing isn't linear. The path isn't straight. You know, quite often it's all around and backwards and forwards and up and down, and that's okay. You know, you're being asked to recognize that there is a journey between where you started and where you're going, and you're on it as well, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not qualified to support others. You know, you're channeling information that's meant for both of you, and you're all moving along together, and this is beautiful. Beyond the ordinary. I feel like you have been challenged by these spiritual experiences, that perhaps, you know, spirituality is new to you and you previously held a lot of the limiting beliefs that your counterpart did. These are things that you need to release. And again, this is part of your healing process, you know, to release cynicism, to release fear, and to embrace your power to manifest and transform life for yourself and life for others here on earth. You really have got a beautiful big mission, pile 2. It's absolutely beautiful energy. Right, I'm going to get a ton of guidance cards for you. We're going to get one from the Cosmic Reading deck, which I will read from the book because it's beautiful, always summarizes it, and we're going to get some charms. So let's start off with some more animals. Some more animals. Final guidance for pile 2 before we take it to the extended, please. What do they need to know the most? Coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. Starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. And giraffe spirit, see the bigger picture. Let's get a couple of these as well. And we've got empathy, detachment, and from the 7 Energies Oracle, healing the heart, seeing beyond. I got beyond the ordinary again there, and it is what it is. This came up in exactly the same position for part 2. Definitely a beautiful collective message there. Okay, what have we got here? It's 2 people outside. Police. A little FBI badge, Fox Mulder from The Simpsons. This one comes out such a lot lately. Don't give up. Dusk until dawn. And I feel like we need to get a couple more. Oh, okay, we keep that one, that fell out. One more. Hello, I'm yours. And the bicycle and that little bit of paper fell out as well. And from a cosmic reading card, which I'll read from the book at the end, communication. Pile 3, final guidance for you, trust in the divine detours. Because you're moving with this divine flow of energy, and you know, there's not exactly a concrete plan. As I said, you're being asked to trust in the forward momentum of the journey. You know, this message coming out for you again with Coyote Spirit, I think this means you can anticipate that things are going to continue shifting and changing. And even though that can feel destabilizing or, you know, panic inducing, what's next, what's going to happen, how will it change? The message is that you can trust and it's safe. You have a strong connection to your soul's inner voice, and you have faith in your intuition, and that's enough. That's enough to guide you in the right direction. So don't be intimidated by that potential tower moment and the changes that may present. Trust that it's meant for you. Everything that's happening is meant for you. When the police and the FBI and the police car, when these two come up, for me, this is the energy of investigating. It's saying there's more than what you currently can see. There's more than what you currently know. There's a need to kind of play detective and dig deeper into your own awareness, so that you can figure out what's right for you in terms of healing the heart. And again, this is 5 energy. This is connected to change. You know, there is still healing to be done, and you don't need to be intimidated by that. You might have this idea that so far this journey's felt a little bit too easy. You've noticed other people seem to struggle with it more. And again, this is because Spirit has elevated you above a lot of that really harsh energy so that you're empowered to step into mission, but you still have to face the energy. Yeah, there's investigative work here, open to infinite possibility. You know, by seeing beyond what you currently know. And again, this is that number 9 energy, that hermit energy. It's reminding you there is more. There is more that you're not seeing, and you need to open up and claim it. Don't give up. There is so much hope here. You know, the clouds are parting for you, and there's always a silver lining. From dusk till dawn, you are surrounded by light. You are protected. You know, you are being moved along this journey for a reason. You can trust in its forward momentum. Hello, I'm yours. Your person knows deep down about this beautiful connection between you. It's what terrifies them. And this is why they cycle back and forward through this, running away, coming forward, not knowing how they feel, being confused, because the intensity of knowing is just too much to bear. It makes them feel out of control. It makes them feel very, very vulnerable. You know, so you're being asked to, again, see the bigger picture here, to recognize what's really happening beneath the surface. You've got a lot more awareness than your person, but you allow yourself to be moved, panicked and worried by their perception. It's yours that matters. They're not seeing clearly. They don't have access to the information, the guidance, the wisdom, the intuition that you do. So you've gone round in circles with them, and you have the power to close out this cycle. You know, look at this, empathy. You feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. And you are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. But for some reason, it's harder when it comes to this person. It's like you revert back to all of those broken parts of self when you interact with them. And this awareness and empathy and this ability to detach and move on and address your patterns seems to kind of slap you in the face. Communication has come up twice for you, in truth. And I'm hearing here, it's not what's being said that's important. You need to pay attention to what's not being said. This person might not have approached you and said, hello, I'm yours, but neither have they said you're not, you know. And so you're being asked to stop jumping to conclusions, to stop reading too much into what hasn't been said. So let's read this communication card for you. I'm fascinated that it's a number 9. Hermit energy has come through really strong for you in this reading. And there's a wolf here as well, if that's a sign for some of you. Right, where's the book? Where have I put the book? Right, bear with me. I need to go and get it. It's not here. Okay, sorry about that. Right, communication. To be truly heard, one needs to practice the art of listening. This card has been revealed to you today. To acknowledge the voice inside you that wishes to be heard and acknowledged. One of the biggest lessons we can learn in this lifetime is effective communication. Communication that is clear and does not assume that others can read our minds. Working both ways, the art of listening also involves being patient and open to the idea of others. Dear one, at times you don't feel as though you are being truly listened to. This can cause frustration, agitation, and a stagnant whirlpool of energy to build up within you. This frustration can sometimes cause you to be indirect, insensitive, and snappy. This energy of frustration and insensitivity then gets passed back to the ones who did not effectively listen the first time round, and is usually received as a personal attack. This energy only encourages them to continue not to listen, with even more resistance and defiance. The cycle of energy being thrown back and forth continues and becomes more vicious, intolerable, and heartbreaking. More often, either or both parties will search elsewhere for an empathetic ear to simply listen. It is time to take the reins and break free from these energetic, emotional mind games, to communicate truthfully about how you feel and express calmly with love what needs to be said. Give the other parties an opportunity to also express their feelings truthfully and to allow them to speak freely without interruptions or resistance. The more you practice the art of listening with love, the more you will find others eager to hear what you have to say. You will then go from a place of not being heard to a place of being heard by many. And the affirmation here is, I am humbled and patient in knowing that to be truly heard, I must first truly listen. And the associated chakras are the solar plexus and the throat. Now, before we wrap this up and move to the extended, I just want to remind you about what came through about authentic communication and also the ancestral karma or challenges that you're facing potentially in the family unit or your work environment. And you know, your communication has been focused on trying to make them understand where they're wrong and where they need to change. And so, you know, you're being guided to approach this in a different way, to be more loving and authentic, you know, to engage your empathy and your compassion and to detach from these patterns so that, you know, you can see it from this more higher perspective, so you can see the bigger picture and recognize your power to create so much productive change and peace for yourself, to bring peace back to this situation. I really hope that helps part two. Quite a different reading from what I normally deliver, but please do tell me in the comments if that resonated. I'm going to take this over to the extended, so if this did resonate, we're going to go deeper over there. You can find the link in the description box below. Hopefully I'll see you there, but if not, thank you so much for joining me here. It really is a pleasure to serve you this way. This has been a beautifully empowering reading for me as well, and so I thank you for allowing me the space to bring that through for you. Please do hit the like button if you enjoy it. It really does make the greatest difference to my channel. And just a big personal thanks to all of you that watch the commercials and send donations. It really does help my channel to grow and it helps to keep it going. So thank you so much for that very generous energy exchange. I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye. Hello Path 3, welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Amethyst and the Good Tarot, and we are asking today, what are the messages you need the most? These are the best readings for really receiving the guidance that you don't even realise you need. So, you know, we're creating a lot of space with these readings for spirit to come through in the way you need to the most. So just take a nice long deep breath and set the intention that, you know, you're ready to receive the messages you need the most. You can ask for a sign if that helps. A sign just helps us validate the messages. It helps us have faith in the messages Spirit brings forward. It can be an animal, a sign or a symbol, an object, a name, a phrase, a song, numbers, whatever works for you. I'm going to give these a good shuffle. We're going to use oracle cards today as well, and some charms. I'm going to get all the messages for you. We're going to go really in depth and detailed. This is a really long reading. I'm feeling a lot more energized at the moment, and so doing longer readings feels really good. I don't really set a time limit. I just keep going as long as I need to. So I think so far they've been about 45-50 minutes. There is an extended as well. Okay, deep messages, but very uplifting messages coming through today. Please do let me know in the comments. I love hearing your feedback, good or bad, it doesn't matter. It all helps inform, you know, my practice and If it is negative, that just helps me understand. In fact, there's nothing negative, you know, it's just constructive. It helps me figure out where I need to improve. So your feedback is appreciated. Okay. The King of Cups in reverse. The Tower. The Fool in reverse. And the Page of Wands in reverse. The Seven of Cups. The Queen of Wands. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. And Judgment. Okay, we're going to get some oracle cards as well. We'll get more as we go. Chameleon Spirit. The Koi Fish Spirit. This is the Animal Spirit Oracle, but if you're interested in what decks I'm using, I do always list them in the description box below. Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. Big shout out to the interior designers and stylists watching. Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Empress of Protection. I'm sure that card doesn't mean that, but that's what jumped out at me. Diana, Queen of the Wilderness. And from the Seven Energies Oracle, Waking the Lion. And from the Power of Love activation cards, Respect and Purpose. Now, as I said, we're going to get more oracle cards as we go. This is nice, long, meaty readings for you. Super detailed, super in-depth. But let's start where we are. Okay, pile 3. At the moment, you're really struggling to separate illusion from reality, pile 3. There's a tremendous amount of confusion here. There's a lot of self-doubt. I'm hearing that for some of you, there's some physical ailments as well that are an ongoing niggling problem. Overall, it's the energy of exhaustion. This won't resonate for all of you, but there's an immune system issue here connected to the overall difficulties that you're experiencing physically. Now, for some of you, that may be something you're aware of. And obviously, I'm not a medical practitioner, so I don't want you panicking and rushing off to the doctors. But the message here is that you have more power to heal self and to improve what you're experiencing. Because it is really getting you down, and understandably so. You know, physical discomfort and pain is a very hard thing to live with, especially when it's chronic. So whatever physical challenges you are facing, there's a very strong message here that you need to rise above self-doubt and recognize the power to improve this situation from the inside. I'm really guided to refer you to Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. There is a program, I think it's on the Gaia channel, but you can get it on Amazon Prime. It's called Rewired, and he talks specifically about healing self, the placebo effect, you know, the power of our minds to create healing. His own story is quite powerful. He healed himself of permanent paralysis. So, you know, his work is worth a look. He's a neuroscientist as well. So after he healed himself, he set out to prove that the mind is capable of healing its own body. And this is what you're being directed towards. There's a reason that you're not feeling physically well, pile 3, and it's because you're being empowered to heal yourself in a very real and physical way. Now, when the King of Cups comes up reversed, this demonstrates that you're out of balance with your emotional body. And this is where a lot of this confusion, this illusion and this self-doubt creeps in, because your emotional body is raging and you're not able to detach from it. You don't always have the clarity that you need to move forward. You get stuck in this emotional yearning, this emotional longing. It kind of clouds your judgment and inhibits you from seeing the truth of any given situation. But I'm hearing particularly where it comes to a relationship. I'm hearing it's, for most of you, it's a situationship rather than a relationship. and you just can't get past the raging emotion that keeps you off balance. You know, it's so very challenging for you right now. We've got this Tower energy here as well. The Tower's been a prominent card in all of our readings today. And of course, when the Tower presents, it's usually a symbol of something collapsing, an end, you know, a powerful, unexpected ending that leads to change. But what I'm really fascinated with in this Tower energy is that we don't see anything collapsing. And so for me, this is a very strong message from Spirit, you know, for you to trust. This feeling of impending doom, that it's all going wrong, is unfounded. It's based in assumption, you know, and it stops you from making progress because you're so confident that nothing's going to go right for you. Now, this very limiting belief is rooted in your life experience, because historically you have had so much misfortune, or it's that's the wrong word, sorry, Arthur's jumping in and slapping me there. He's saying it's not misfortune, it's perceived as misfortune, because you perceive that things always go wrong for you as a result of your experiences. You've built up this fear and trepidation, so that, you know, when good things are happening, you're not able to feel secure in that, because you're absolutely convinced it will be snatched away from you again. Again, Spirit is guiding you back to your power to create. It's reminding you that you are the creator of your own destiny and your own life. And I did actually write about this on my YouTube community page yesterday. We are a product of our beliefs. We're a product of our thoughts. Thought plus belief equals creation. And so often when we expect the worst, that's what we receive. We're self-sabotaging our own potential to be everything and to have everything we need and want. The Queen of Wands, again, reminds you of your power. You know, you have so much light in you, so much ability, but you're not seeing this about yourself. There's a great deal of pessimism in your energy. And again, it's born of this perceived idea of misfortune. And so the message here is all the challenges you faced have led you to the person you are now. And the person you are now is worthy. You don't feel worthy. You feel like life has dealt you a really shitty hand. And there's a great deal of cynicism. There's a great deal of regret, shame. You know, I'm hearing that you really give yourself a very hard time, and you can't trust. You can't trust in your own journey. You can't trust in a positive outcome. You can't trust that you're going to receive what you need to receive, because in your experience, when anything good happens, it is rapidly destroyed. But it wasn't destroyed by anything except your own expectation, is what I'm hearing. And I want to be really careful in how I deliver that, because it's not blaming you. It's not saying, look, this is all your fault. It's not about blame. It's about recognizing how quickly you can shift out of that energy and into something more powerful and more productive. You are worthy and deserving of a good life. First and foremost, you have to believe that. No one has been able to convince you of that. And you know, you feel like you need that approval, that love from someone else to be able to feel whole, to be able to feel good, to be able to, you know, you can't trust your own perception of self. And so you desperately long for someone else to come along and validate you. You're enough. I love you as you are. You're beautiful. You know, you long for this approval. You long to receive the love that you're so willing to give. And it's just eluded you. And so there's so much sadness here, pile 3. You know, there's a great deal of it's self-pity, it's woe, it's, you know, why me? Why does everything go wrong for me? Why does everyone else get this happiness and this stability? Why is my life so difficult? Why don't I get to receive all of this love and all of this abundance? And again, you know, you're being guided back to things are never as bad as you see, as they seem. But this fear that just you can't seem to release is sabotaging all of the opportunities and potential that's being presented to you. This is one of your great life challenges. To laugh in the face of adversity, to rise above it and realize your power, to say, I will not stand defeated. You know, I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not just going to accept shit. If I'm feeling that shit is coming, then I'm going to rise above that and make sure that I am so strong in my faith and belief that I'm going to get what I want. It's mind over matter, and you really do have to challenge yourself to move into a more positive way of perceiving your life experiences, because they happened so that you could become who you are, and who you are is beautiful. It is enough. There is so much going for you. There is so much opportunity here. And I feel such frustration from some of you hearing this. You know, some of you are sitting there saying, with the greatest respect, Charlotte, you don't know how shit my situation is. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I'm dealing with. And it may appear that there are so many walls and obstacles. Again, this tower isn't coming down, but we do see this great rock rising out of the ground, you know, and blocking our view of the tower. But there's an entrance here in that rock. Look at this. It actually opens a door for us. Obstacles present opportunity. Opportunities for our growth, and we must stop perceiving challenges as something that we didn't want, didn't need, and shouldn't be happening to us. When we can step into gratitude for the challenges and recognize how they've helped us grow, how they've helped us become more compassionate, you know, we can start to appreciate and move into the energy of acceptance. I know your life's hard right now, and I know it seems impossible. You know, your physical health may be a huge obstacle for you, but, you know, Spirit is reminding you nothing is impossible for she or he who believes. You've got to rise above this perception of there being obstacles. You know, people can do great things no matter the challenges and obstacles in front of them. Trust that you are one of those people. It feels impossible, but that's just because you haven't created space for the right solution to present. You're so determined that it's wrong and it can't happen that you're literally blinding yourself from the opportunities to move in a direction that's good for you. You know, you've given up. This is the energy of resignation. Nothing goes right for me. Nothing's ever going to go right for me. You know, I'm doing my hardest to accept this shit show. But in truth, you know, it's just the way my life is. That is such a limiting belief, pile 3. You know, and look at this, chameleon spirit. Act as if. This is what manifesting is. When we act as if everything is okay and we trust, even in the face of clear evidence to the contrary, that's when we create a powerful charge of creation. I don't care if my health's bad. I don't care if the doctors have told me that, you know, this is chronic and I have to live with it. I can fix this. When you get into that energy of faith and belief, anything is possible. That's what creates space for magic and miracles. And this is what you're being asked to learn. And there is a purpose for this. You possess the determination and dedication to consciously demonstrate love. Spirit needs you to conquer this challenge so that you can share that with others. It needs you to rise up and to step into that determined and dedicated energy, to love yourself so much that you don't give up on trying to get where you want and need to be. You know, just because everyone else has given up on you, you know, you can't give up on yourself. You've got to keep fighting, pile 3. We've got Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know the presence of love is real. These are powerful affirmations. I know, I trust, I believe. Okay? So remember we were talking about this distorted emotional body. When we're not connected to our truth and the emotional body is raging and distracting us, all of the resulting energies add up to behaviors that are continuing to sabotage what we really need and want. You know, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. But this perception of you, of being a chaser, of being desperate, of being clingy, all of these behaviors that manifest as a result of these emotions are not a true representation of who you are. They're just a representation of the imbalance in the energies that you're currently experiencing. You are not the chaser. You are the soul that is experiencing chaser energy. So you need to relieve yourself of shame, because it takes time, determination and dedication to master the emotional body, to recognize it's an intuitive tool and it doesn't have to squash you and overwhelm you. Don't beat yourself up for not having yet learned that, for not having yet developed that skill. You've got to detach yourself from all of the stuff that's presenting as a result of the challenges you're facing and what you're learning. It's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just struggling with very turbulent energies, and you're going to rise above this, pile 3. You've really got this. You are so much more powerful than you realize. Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Empress of Protection. I am safe and divinely protected. I am held in love at all times. And again, I know you don't feel this. I know that you want that to be true, that you affirm that it's true, that you pray for it to be true, but you don't feel protected. You feel let down. You know, you find yourself asking, where are my spirit guides? If spirit has got my back, why is this happening to me? And again, it's this perception of lack, this perception that your life should be different and that these things are a punishment of some kind or misfortune. They're not. Stop focusing on lack. There is always enough, but you have to open yourself up to receive abundance. You have to believe that you're worthy and deserving of it. And right now, you know, your emotional body is creating a barrier to you aligning with that truth. This is why you get lost in illusion and disillusion. This is why you get lost in self-doubt. Diana, Queen of the Wilderness, the language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. There is a lot of earth energy here for you. Not in literal terms in the tarot cards, but I feel it. I feel it in the colours. I feel it in the energy coming through. I feel this is where you find peace and respite as well. I'm hearing for some of you it's challenging to get outdoors. But bring the outdoors to you, bring nature to you, surround yourself with plants, with crystals, with flowers, with sticks, with rocks, with whatever feels good. Bring the outdoors in, create a sacred space for yourself where you can commune with nature if you can't be outdoors. But I'm hearing that this is where you're going to find a lot of power. You have an ancestral connection to herbalism, to using plants in a healing way, and I'm hearing that what you need the most is already growing around you, that you can trust your own intuition to guide you to the right places where you're going to find what you need. And it's not one thing, it's a combination of things that add up. It's taking care of yourself in a variety of ways, of being mindful what you put in your body, of being mindful how you cleanse and care for your body, of being dedicated and determined to override the challenges and the obstacles that you're facing. You know, for example, I work with like a personal trainer in a mindful, meditative way to support his clients. And most of them in the group that I work with are not people who find exercise easy. They're people that come to it with challenges. So, for example, disabilities, illnesses, or you know, some kind of limitations that makes it more challenging. But all of these people are able to find ways to move and be healthier. You know, there's a message here that stop telling yourself, I can't be fit, I can't be active. You know, your body might let you down in certain respects. And forgive me if you have no movement in your body at all. I understand this reading isn't going to fit for everyone. I'm not trying to offend everyone, because some of you will sincerely have very real limitations. But for most of us, even if we're bedbound, we can, you know, we have some movement, we have some opportunity to work with our bodies in a more holistic and healthy way. You're being encouraged to stop seeing obstacles and to find new solutions. Again, there is always a solution. You've got to take your focus off lack, because this is what keeps you stuck. You know, the Page of Wands is a very inspired energy. It's about rushing forward with all of that inspired message, action, determination. And when that energy is blocked, you can feel very apathetic, like there's no hope, there's no point, what can I do? I'm stuck, you know. And again, this is just mind over matter. This perception is what keeps you stuck. There is always more. Your soul is calling you, pile 3. You're being called back to your own divinity. You're being called back to love. You're being called back to the truth of who you are. You're being called to recognize you are a divine being and you have this power to create goodness in your life. I know that you've tried to have this new start before. We've got the Fool here in reverse and the 6 of Pentacles. And again, because historically it's not worked out and you've not got what you wanted, you've stopped trying, you've stopped giving. And so you just go around in circles, you're not moving and you get frustrated. And again, you assume it's because, you know, the universe hasn't got your back, that this is all a lie. It means you lose faith. It means you give up. And, you know, you are protected. You are being divinely guided. But you've got to be accountable for the decisions you're making. And the, you know, the universe can't help you if you won't open up to receive that help. And the idea that you're not being helped and that everything is possible is limiting the universal flow of energy that is trying to elevate you beyond, above what you're facing. Again, this isn't about blame. It's about radical self-honesty and accountability. You know, it's about recognizing that you can resolve this. You can be your own superhero. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love. And what I'm hearing is, but no one values mine. You just want to receive what you're so willing to give. But my friend, you have to give this to yourself first. I've talked about this a lot lately on my channel, but I want to share it with you again in case you've missed it. The heart chakra in twin flame and soulmate connections, or in fact in any situation that requires an exchange of loving energy, reciprocity. The heart chakra is a very, very important organ in our energy body. It's actually one channel, one pipe, but it has to receive 2 streams of energy. The heart chakra flows energy out, giving energy, and it needs space for energy to come in, receiving energy. One channel, 2 streams of energy. And so if it's not balanced, if there's too much giving energy, that takes up more room and doesn't allow space for receiving energy. So a heart chakra that is out of balance is actually its own worst enemy. Because what happens is we don't feel enough love in us. We don't have enough love in us. And so the energy rushes out in a giving fashion. And it does that because it's grasping externally for love. If I give love, I'll get some back and I can pull it back in. That's the misguided logic behind people pleasing and overgiving. The more I give, the more I'll get back. But that's not real love. Real love is self-fulfilling. It's a circle. It's in you. You just need to take it and nurture it. So when you're in this energy of overgiving because you desperately want to receive, what you're accidentally doing is taking up the space in that channel, that heart chakra channel, that's intended for love to come in. It doesn't leave room for you to receive love. And so in that respect, we become our own worst enemies. In being in that energy of desperately looking for love outside of ourselves, we actually inhibit ourselves from receiving it in equal measure. And again, it's not authentic love. When we give to receive, we're not operating in harmony with love. You know, love is self-fulfilling. So you have to give that love to yourself. When you start loving yourself, you create a clear, open channel. You bring that heart chakra into balance yourself by ensuring there's a constant flow of in love, so that the out love isn't dominating, isn't taking up all that space. And you just do that by loving yourself. Now, it can feel really weird to love yourself, to start talking to yourself lovingly. I did write about this on my community page this week, or last week. It was fairly recently. If you jump on there, you'll find a post about our inner dialogue and how we communicate with ourselves. Your inner dialogue is what's sabotaging you right now, pile 3. It's bullying you, and you wouldn't disrespect anyone else like that. You value other people's perspective and opinions. You're compassionate. You're able to see the good in others, but you don't see it in yourself. Instead, you're cycling through all of the ugly things you've ever heard about yourself, all of the horrible experiences that have invalidated you and made you feel like you're not accepted, all of the judgments and harsh words and abuse are still cycling around in your mind, and your inner dialogue batters them with you on a daily basis. Pile 3, you are not that voice. You are not that pessimistic voice that says this can't work, this can't happen, you don't deserve it, you're not enough, no one loves you, you'll never have happiness. You are not that voice. You are the soul that hears that voice, and you have to fight it. You have to take back control. You've got to recognize your power to be more, your power to create more, your power to feel the way you want to feel. The power to be loved, to be accepted, that all comes from the inside. And you have this power, believe me, you do. You know, you have it in abundance. Waking the lion, coming into your true power, your true strength. You know, this is sun energy, it's Leo energy. Powerful, beautiful fire energy, the power of spirit, the power of courage and strength. It's all in you. Your big, pure, compassionate heart is your strength. You just have to turn it inwards and give it to yourself. You deserve it and you're worth it. You know, you've got to stop allowing others to inform who you are. Let go of all of those ugly experiences of the past. Detach from them. They have nothing to do with who you are. Kindness. You are a humanitarian made of love. You are able to share that energy with others. But you've got to be humanitarian towards yourself. That's where it begins. You know, giving yourself that love. When you love yourself, you're empowered to love everyone else so much more authentically. Acceptance. You are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. When you stop needing love from people because you give it to yourself, you are empowered to love them authentically. You're empowered to give because you feel that you want to, and it's lovely for you to do that rather than obligation or because you need something back. You know, this is about moving into acceptance as well of what people are able to give. Not everyone has your big, pure, kind heart. Trust. You have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice. Have faith in your intuition. Again, it's your emotional body that is blinding you from your own intuitive senses, because when those intuitive hits come, your ego jumps in, that painful emotional body jumps in, and it questions and distorts everything. It doesn't allow you to accept the guidance you're receiving in the energy which is intended, and then things get clouded, things get confused, and you find yourself wondering, I don't know if I can trust that. I just don't know how to figure this out. I don't know how to guide myself. And again, you continue looking outside of self. You're being guided back to the truth of who you are. Lizard spirit. This is manifestation energy. Dream the world into being. You know, trust in your own power to create. You are an empress. Trust in the magic. White raven spirit. You know, 2 6s there. That's the energy of unconditional love. More lion energy for you. Lion spirit. Be generous. How have you found yourself giving less, or being cynical, or bitter, or wanting to withdraw because you're not receiving that reciprocity? That's not unconditional love, pile 3. That's conditional love. And do you know why we love conditionally? Because we're scared. Because we don't have enough. We think if we give too much of ourselves away and it doesn't come back to us, that we'll fall flat. And that's what happens when we're not filling our own tank. But it doesn't have to be that way. When you're loving yourself, you have an abundance of love to share. You know, you are ready to rise above the challenges that are being presented to you. You've been ready all along. You've just not recognized your power to be that person. I want to get some more clarity on this connection, this relationship. So I'm going to pull some more tarot cards for you. How is this connection or situationship or relationship trying to teach you to move forward here? Because I know it's hard and you don't want it. Okay, more lion energy. We've got Emperor. So that's divine masculine energy. We've got the 10 of Cups in reverse. And we've got the Hierophant. So, you know, this is a very spiritual soul connection. The Emperor, as well as being divine masculine energy, is about control. It's about control. And the 10 of Cups is the union energy blocked. When we're trying to control what's coming, You know, when we're not accepting what is, and we're trying to you know, when we have a firm idea about how it should be, we're not able to sit in acceptance of what is. It says you are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. So there's a message here about letting go of control. And that starts with learning to master the emotional body and the inner dialogue. The part of you that says, I need this. I can't be happy without this. I can't let go of this. What will I do if I don't get what I want? How will I cope? How can I continue living with this pain and the absence of what I want? You're missing the point here, pile 3. The Hierophant reminds you that you are on a journey of higher learning and transformation. And unless you can face these difficult energies, recognize they don't serve you, and in a determined and dedicated way, conquer them, and you can conquer them, then you're going to stay stuck in this cycle. Remember, 5 is the transitional number. If we don't move beyond 5, we never move towards Lovers energy. Lovers is number 6. But the higher learning comes first. Remember your purpose. You possess the determination and dedication to consciously demonstrate love, unconditional love. It's already in you. It's already in you. You've just got to take it. When you release control and you move into acceptance and surrender, you create space for union energies. You unblock that. And look at who's on that card. The laughing Buddha. Look, I've got him on my desk. A symbol of abundance, good luck and good fortune. You know, this isn't just about love. This is reminding you how you can change your whole state of being. You can change your whole life. You can have everything you want when you release control and pay attention to what this situation is trying to teach you, rather than resenting it and feeling hard done by. You know, this is about empowering you to create the positive change. We've got the King of Pentacles in reverse. The more you long for someone else to come and rescue you, to come and take care of you, to come and make this okay, the more you keep yourself from achieving that true union. Not just with them, but with self. You know, you're being challenged to give yourself exactly what you need, and to recognize that when you do that, you're empowered to receive exactly what's meant for you. The 8 of Swords. So again, the 8 of Swords is about self-entrapment. You know, in the traditional deck, the Rider-Waite tarot deck, what we see in the 8 of Swords is a person that's tangled up. They're surrounded by swords, which looks like a cage around them, swords driven into the ground. They've got this rope wrapped around them, though fairly loosely, and they're wearing a blindfold. And they perceive themselves as being trapped. Look, the swords are blocking me and there's all these obstacles. I feel tied up and hemmed in and I can't see the truth. Now, they could easily unravel the ropes and they can easily move between or remove the swords. They can take their blindfold off and see clearly. But this energy of the 8 of Swords is someone that isn't ready to take responsibility. They're not ready to see that they have an opportunity to change because they're still waiting for someone to save them. They don't have any real drive or desire to pursue the opportunities that allow them to get what they want of their own accord. They're waiting for someone to do it for them. And, you know, it's not going to happen that way. Pile 3 for you. You're being challenged to rise up and do this for yourself. And in doing so, you liberate yourself to receive everything that was meant for you. But you have to release yourself from your own perception that it's impossible and there's no way out of what you're experiencing right now. I just asked what else do we need to know about this person, and the Empress has come up. So, you know, this definitely feels like a very spiritual connection here. We've got the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Eight of Cups. So for me, I'm hearing it feels like there's no love here between you and this person. This person has moved away. The Eight of Cups is about running away, and we see them here waiting for this ship to come in. I'm just waiting for this person to come back. I can't feel good again until they return. There's this absence of love when they're not here. I feel desolate and alone. The Ace of Cups is about self-love. It's about unity. You know, again, you've got to step into your divine feminine power and realize that you're able to give this to yourself. And when you have it, more of it flows to you in abundance and the boat comes in. You know, twin flame energy is like magnets. When magnets are out of balance, when they're facing the wrong way, they can't actually come together. And what's really unique about divine masculine energy is that they have the ability to detach from their emotional body in the way the feminine doesn't. Again, divine feminines are naturally connected to their emotional body. Masculines are not. They have to learn to be. So it's much easier for them to respond to this energy, which is either repellent or magnetic. They're not even emoting around those changes. They're just feeling repellent energy and moving away, or they're feeling magnetic energy and coming forward. They're not necessarily emotionally aware of their energy. And I'm working through balancing my masculine energies at the moment, and one of the things that has occurred around that is that I feel more detached from my emotional body. I honestly thought that that was a symptom of my own ascension, high learning and skill, but what I'm learning is that having balanced my feminine energy, I'm now experiencing it from the masculine perspective. And let me tell you that the masculine perspective doesn't care. And it's not because there's no care there, it's because they're disconnected from the emotions that allow them to express and feel that care. So it's not even like they're sat there thinking, oh God, I really don't like her. You know, they're just not feeling the magnetism. They're just not feeling anything. They're not feeling the pull. They're feeling pushed away. When the divine feminine is in chaser energy, you know, remember that reverse magnet. What happens if two unbalanced magnets come towards each other? They push each other away. And that's what's happening here. Your masculine isn't running because of who you are. They're running because the energy isn't balanced. And you have the power to bring your energy into balance. You have the power to bring yourself back to stillness. Now I'm going to get some guidance cards and charms for you. And I'm going to get also one of these cosmic reading cards that I'm going to read from the book. But, you know, there's a lot for you to work here with Path 3. There is hope. This is going to be okay. You can trust. We've got Otter Spirit, Snake Spirit. These have already come up today. And this one, Frog Spirit. And from the 7 Energies Oracle, we've got Endless Possibilities, the Rose's Kiss, and Beautiful Uncaging. Let's get some more of these activation cards. Past, Commitment, and we're going to get another Divine Feminine card and then the Cosmic Reading card, which I'll read at the end. Yesha Tusagal. I don't know how you say that. I'm going to bring it up to you so you can see it. Yesha Tusagal. I can't say it. Hopefully someone can correct me in terms of how to pronounce that. The Lady of the Lotus Born. I love that. I've never heard of her before. She looks really powerful. I like it. We've got Surrender Energy for you from the Cosmic Reading cards and from Charms. Oh. Don't overthink it. I'm trying and that's enough. The tape measure. It comes out so much lately. Empower, the fist pump, I love that one. The 2 Swords, the Hourglass, we see this one a lot at the moment as well, and the Twin Quartz. It's called Twin Quartz because there's 2 pieces that are merged together. So lots of twin flame signs for you, Path 3. Right, Otter Spirit, you are never alone. I know it feels that way. But the universe has got your back, and there's this whole community of happy souls around you that are experiencing similar energies, learning similar lessons, and understand completely how you are feeling. Please reach out to us. We are here for you. Come and join my Facebook group. If you don't use Facebook, just set up an account just for the group. It's called the Happy Souls Networking and Support Group, and it's for ascending souls and twin flames and anyone that's on this path of ascension and evolution. We're here for you. There is support. You're not alone. Trust. endless possibilities. Stop creating obstacles for yourself with your pessimistic outlook. You know, trust. Other people have overcome worse than what you're going through. Allow that to inspire you rather than making you compare and beat yourself up. There's a strong message here that you mustn't beat yourself up. Even with me drawing to attention all the things that you need to address, you're hurting yourself. I'm such an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I see this? Why am I so stupid? Stop bullying yourself. This isn't about blame. It's not about saying, ha ha, pile 3, look how weak you are. Look how you've messed this up. You're not doing it right. It's not about that. There's no such thing as wrong. There's only awareness. And you've got to forgive yourself for not having this awareness before you arrived at this reading today. It's okay. You don't need to humiliate yourself and shame yourself. You're trying. And this is enough. And every day is an opportunity to try again. You know, stop overthinking this. But it is time for you to heal. You've got to trust you can shed skin. Again, this is number 5. Remember, you've got to move beyond that 5. You've got to move into this energy that allows you to transform. You're ready for this. You've got to clear out the clutter in your mind. Frog energy is also the energy of fertility and creation. You know, when you clear out that clutter and all of those blockages that are limiting you, you step into your true power. Past, through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. You know, let go of the past, forgive, forget, it's gone. We can't change it. We can only learn from it and allow it to empower us to move forward. Commitment. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your very being. And here's the thing. You've watched readings like this, pile 3. For the most part, I'm not telling you anything new. But you start and you struggle to maintain that commitment because you get disheartened when you're not seeing immediate progress, or that inner dialogue comes in and sabotages you again. You know, this is number 9 energy, and I saw so many ladybirds this morning. It's shown up here. I don't know why, but there's hundreds of them in my garden this morning. Number 9 is hermit energy. It's the energy of solitude, the power of solitude. This is reminds you that you can give yourself this gift of love. You know, that you can give yourself everything you need and find pleasure, comfort, and power in that. Remember what we talked about, that self-imprisonment? This is the beautiful uncaging. Again, this is 14, which reduces to 5. You have the key to unlock your destiny. The Lady of the Lotus born, Yesha, whose surname I can't pronounce. Embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. This suggests there's a reason you're unwell. You were always meant to heal your body. You were meant to enlighten your body as much as you were meant to enlighten your mind and your soul. You were meant to find your way back to health. This is what you're meant to be learning, and you can learn it. You know, this is powerful forward energy that's supporting you right now. It's okay if it moves at a gentle pace. Stop trying to rush it. You've got to trust in divine timing. Allow yourself to be empowered by the divine feminine community. I can tell you quite sincerely that the divine feminine friends I've had that have supported me on this journey have been absolutely key to me understanding myself, having that outlet, having that support, having people that understand, having people that can, you know, help me get back on track when my mind is working against me. You can take that for yourself. We're here for you, pile 3. Release indecision and step into commitment. Be determined. Stop what-ifing. You know, quite often you don't try because you think, what's the point? It's going to go wrong anyway. Why would I try and then just end up being disappointed again? This keeps you so stuck. Trust in divine timing. Trust in the energy of this connection. You know, you two are merged. Union is already real. It's the separation that's an illusion, and it's our physical 3D self that sits in that energy of duality, believing we're separate. This is what you're being asked to transcend. Let's read the surrender card for you before we take this over to the extended. I love reading it from this book because they're just so beautiful. They're always so perfectly timed. Okay, pile 3, surrender. Surrender to what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. If you have picked this card, you are being guided to surrender. Surrender your worries, burdens, and control over outcomes, and just be with life in this present moment. By surrendering, you allow your life to move forward naturally as it should. Resisting the natural cycles of life only causes anguish, frustration, and a feeling of constant struggle. Dear one, stop persisting in swimming the other way. When you push against life, life pushes back, and what you resist most will continue to exist in your life. Do you feel perplexed by the fall of autumn leaves? No, for there is trust in the natural cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. We too experience these cycles. However, most of us live in a state of unawareness and resist the cycles of birth and death within them. This doesn't mean you should quit, but rather make the decision to trust in the cycles of life. When you are in acceptance of what is, you become more empowered to attract the outcome you desire. Acceptance does not mean giving up your power and light to another, allowing yourself to be ill-treated, or giving up on your dreams. Acceptance is giving up your resistance to what is and allowing spirit guide you to do what needs to be done. When you surrender that tight hold you have on the situation and bring yourself to a place of inner peace, you will find that clarity. Solutions will appear and allow deeper wisdom to guide your way. Energy that was once spent on resistance will now be focused on projects that bring you joy, and this in turn will attract the miracles and blessings you so hope for. And the affirmation is, I surrender to this moment and trust in great spirit to guide my way. And the associated chakra is the solar plexus. That's our power center, our trigger center. When you're triggered and you feel rotten, I surrender to this moment and trust in great spirit to guide my way. Say it, path 3. Trust, you've got to surrender. You know this. And you're going to keep being guided back to this same message until you take it and you roll with it. The connection to nature came up again, and I felt really guided to remind you that there's power in that for you. Nature is such a beautiful metaphor for life. It really does teach us about purpose and just a beautiful state of being and acceptance. And this is something that can really inspire your awareness. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I really hope that helped. Please let me know in the comments. I'm going to take this over to Extended, where we're going to go much deeper. If this resonates, you can find the link to that in the description box below. But thank you for being here. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for subscribing and for commenting. And a big, deep, heartfelt thanks to those of you that exchange energy by watching the commercials or by sending donations. I appreciate the time that you so generously give in that way. Thank you so very much. It means a lot to me, and it really does help to keep my channel going. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. Lots of love, path 3. Bye bye.